Yeah, so I made a post about that some producers aren't always snapping to the grid. Up here is what I mean by the grid. And so we have the blue dots here, which is all tempo changes. Maybe I will reset that just so that you can hear that. Actually, let's do that now. I definitely need to have my Command Z handy, because that's a lot of work I just undid. Yeah, so there's a lot of things I did not like about that. These sounded way too rushed. This part. That sounded way too rushed. You also couldn't tell when phrases start, so it seems like bending rhythm is probably pretty important when you're using a lot of straight eighth notes, because it's almost like people relate more to singing more than anything else, I feel like. So if you can make instruments sound like they're singing, I feel like people relate to it more. And people just don't talk for 45 seconds without breathing in. So I feel like all these tempo changes sounds like breathing in, sort of. It's also a lot of the genre, of course. Of course, this is cinematic music and not like dance music, so if I was making like EDM club music, I could understand like snap into the grid 99.9999% of the time. But anyways, let's take a look at my master bus. So I'm really smashing it hard with 2 APIs, both on Levine glue setting, kind of on the master bus type preset. So let's compare. That's really subtle. I just feel like it's taking some of the edge off. Then 2 tape machines, which I feel like also just takes the edge off a bit. This probably makes a huge difference, actually. It's another thing that takes off the edge. I feel like that's the theme of the show right now. You're definitely going to notice it on this one. Big time. Big time. Yeah, DeHarsher is almost cranked all the way. Here we go. mean, that is doing so much work. It's like rescuing this. If I didn't have that, I feel like this mix would be thrown in the garbage, because I don't want to listen to that other thing. That other thing was giving me kind of a headache. One good producer did say, though, the other day that don't be afraid to have some dissonance and some tension and some ugliness, because, you know, what's the purpose of music? There could be a lot of purposes of music, and sometimes you're just trying to express an emotion. But I also understand the other kind of side of it, where I kind of want a desert island record that I can listen to 1,000 times without getting a headache, without kind of getting less fatigued. And the other harsh one, I would be fatigued pretty quickly. And maybe it's subliminal too, that I just wouldn't even think about it, but I would subliminally want to click off that YouTube video. Audio is like a little bit more important than people realize. That if a YouTube video has a bad microphone, you kind of hear it. Saturation on tape, should probably turn oversampling on, but you'll hear this probably actually bringing in back some of that edge, actually, since we took away so much of it. Sounded like all of them were at slightly different frequencies. Seemed like, yeah, seems like the retro was mids, tape was treble, warm took away a lot of treble. All these three were kind of different, higher end stuff. Let's see if reverb is doing anything. You can hardly hear that. There's already so much reverb on that 3 space designers that just sort of automatically pop up in Logic, and yeah, just kind of keep them there until I need to remove them. Maybe I could remove them with a better reverb. Now it should sound drier. I feel like this EQ is kind of taking away some of the mid-level honk. Plus I had to really nuke the bass on this one, because the bass synthesizer was just so powerful. It was making my entire house rattle. It just felt like too much. So even though that bass is still powerful right now, I had to remove quite a bit. And then I do like this like mid honk kind of remover. Let's hear. pretty subtle, but I feel like it just kind of puts the track a little bit more forward and adds some presence, takes away some bass. Just trying to do it in a subtle way, I suppose. A lot of higher up stuff. I wonder if that is because of the passive. It is. Wow, that thing makes a lot of noise. So I guess this is 16K thing. Let's see if that's even worth it. I feel like this compressor just kind of takes away from the fact that it sounds like the piano player is banging over your head. And I'm not a huge fan of that feeling, where I feel like my eyes are blinking every time I hear the piano play. It's just another thing that seems to take off the edge a little bit, which is also very genre specific though. And that, you know, I wanted this to be very mysterious background music. So that strategy might not make sense for rock music. If anything, you're doing the exact opposite in rock music, where you're distorting everything to make everything just sound rebellious and wrong. I have a compressor. I mean, not compressor, but limiter, just to normalize the decibels at industry standard, which is -3 or -6 dB, or you'll hear a million different opinions about that, but I think that was most things that I wanted to talk about. Seems like the plug-in of the day is this thing. This thing seems to be doing the most work. So I guess we'll stop there. We'll put that as my favorite today. Alright, thanks so much for watching. See you later.